This is the effect of C4D restoration after watching the teaching content of Blender recently. The cutting is completely manual, and I was wondering, isn't there a non-destructive way? That's why we have today's instructional video. I hope it will be helpful and enlightening for everyone when dealing with cutting animation in C4D. Enter today's topic and see how effective our non-destructive cutting is. In fact, the principle is very simple, which is to use multiple matrices as the source of cutting. Random angle cutting can be realized by moving the matrix point in the world space position. Replace any model directly to update the cutting effect. Every cutting form is under your control. The most important thing is to realize the assembly animation with the push and scatter effect. This is one application of this technique, or rigid body dynamics shown at the beginning. To get started, first create a cylinder. Set the number of segments of a polygon. Create a matrix and set it to linear mode to demonstrate why this method cannot be used. Set the number and spacing of the y-axis and set the random rotation angle. Create a new Voronoi fragment and delete the default point generation, adding the matrix. No matter what parameters you set, you can't achieve random angle cutting. So you're trying to save time, obviously not going to work. Let's deal with it manually. It doesn't take much time. Here is a point that needs to be paid attention to. Do you think a point matrix point can be cut? In fact, the first matrix needs 2 points, and then it needs a little distance to work. Adjust the position of the matrix, rotation, and other properties to test the cutting effect. Copy the matrix object, adjust the position, and assign it to the cut source. At this point, we need to change the number of matrices from 2 to 1. Adjust to the appropriate position angle. Keep repeating the above steps. The specific number of cuts is flexible according to your own needs. Classify the scene to facilitate the next step of production. Select Voronoi shatter and add a push effect. Now, this is clearly not the push effect that we were hoping for. Switch to the sorting panel and enable sorting results. Pull the strength slider to see that the current effect is affected according to ID. Attempt to replace whether the model is running correctly. Changing the model does not affect the parameters set earlier at all. Finally, try to replace the slightly more complex model. The only caveat is that the replacement model should have roughly the same scale as the previous model. Finally, you can enrich your animation with expansion methods such as linear fields. Finally, add a delay effect to make your animation look more natural. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about practical professional C4D teaching, welcome to subscribe to my Patreon, which provides a large number of C4D files and knowledge. Thank you for watching. See you next time.